Greetings. I am Dr. RAS Mikey Courtney, and I am one of the co-directors of the December Dance Concert. An opportunity for us to share what we've been working on, an opportunity for us to showcase the diversity of the program, as well as the diversity of the guest artists that we have coming in. Christopher is a long friend of mine for many years, and it's been a little while for us to get her here to actually set a piece on the students, but she is our Alice guest artist for this semester, and the piece that she created is a house rep. Crystal has a lot of experience in hip-hop and in house, so she's come to share that experience with some of our students, and it should be a full-on, intense vibe, so to speak. We have some work by Celia Benvenuti, who is a practitioner of Dunham technique, and she's certified. So she is sharing her experiential knowledge of Dunham technique through her choreographic process with our students as well. So that piece also explores Africanist aesthetic within contemporary dance technique. So it should also be very, very exciting. And we also have a collaboration with Eisenhower Dance Detroit. So looking at ways that we can build a better relationship with some of the local companies and our students to create these sort of pipelines where students might have more opportunities to work with professional companies in the community. My understanding of house, it was developed by DJs. Two DJs specifically, Larry Levan and Frankie Knuckles. And I believe that they were both from the East Coast, but somehow migrated to Chicago. And the whole concept of house music came from the parties that they started to produce in a place called The Warehouse in Chicago. So Chicago would be the foundation of what we understand the culture of house to be, but it was very much integrative of what was happening in the late 60s and the early 70s, coming out of the era of disco, the different types of communities that were coming together in social environments, predominantly the LGBTQ community, and them having a safe space to explore their love for music and their love for partying and celebrating. So house kind of got its connection to the urban demographic and the urban community through having private clubs and private parties that kind of opened up to larger communities, and it spread like wildfire, just like how hip-hop did. It spread into all these other cities around the United States, and now it's a global phenomenon. The importance of our students learning Dunham technique or being connected to Dunham, these are techniques that are associated with movement of the African diaspora. Catherine Dunham was someone who did a lot of research into cultural and indigenous movement and drew from a lot of these experiences to develop a technique that is very much centered and rooted in the African American experience. So for our students, we don't have a large African American demographic of students. So for our students to be exposed to Dunham technique and what Celia Benvenuti has to offer gives them a broader sense of technique outside of the Eurocentric aesthetic and a deeper connection to techniques that are associated with the Africanist aesthetic. For me personally, contemporary means now. So it's all encompassing of everything that's happening in our world currently. So it's almost as if our students are learning current events in dance when they're studying contemporary dance, because they're being exposed to all the different things that are being engaged in the community as of now. So contemporary is always evolving. Contemporary 20 years ago is not the same contemporary that it is today. So what I'm excited for our students to learn working with the guest artists that we have is in relation to what I'm excited for the audience to learn. Culture. Every style of movement that they're learning is related to a culture, and a lot of the guest artists that are transmitting this information are also transmitting the cultural knowledge as well as the movement and the steps along with it. So I'm interested to see how this cultural knowledge can influence the creative process of our own students. They should be excited about the diversity of the program, meaning that they're going to come in and not only will they be entertained, but they'll also be educated. This being one of the oldest dance programs in the United States, I think the audience should always come in with the idea of the legacy and how the legacy of this program is continuing and evolving through the generations that come in to be a part of it. Movement knowledge is cultural knowledge. That's Deirdre Sklar. A lot of times we don't recognize that every movement experience or every dance that we're exposed to, whether or not we're learning the dance or whether or not we're just witnessing it as an audience member, we're also being exposed to culture. We're also learning about cultural norms that are related to that specific dance and the culture that it comes from. So one of the things that most people don't realize when they're taking in dance performances is how much cultural knowledge that they're also being imbued with as well. Come, you won't be disappointed.